Hello and welcome to Inside South Asia with me, Bhairavi Singh. Our big focus on the show tonight, elections in Pakistan. Well, who will be the winner? Who will play kingmaker? And will Imran Khan supporters make a dent on the election process amid wide-scale concerns of rigging? But before that, a quick look at some other big developments from the region. So first up on the show, well, polling has concluded in Pakistan and the fate of its main contenders hangs in the balance. Marred by weeks of violence, the people of Pakistan today cast their ballot amid an internet and mobile shutdown. The favourite to win the elections is Nawaz Sharif, who is eyeing a fourth term in office, while the Pakistan People's Party's Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is vowing to put up a tough fight. And as for cricketer turned politician Imran Khan, he remains in jail, but his party believes he enjoys popular support. But could that make an impact in the election results? Well, the shutdown of mobile internet services triggered widespread condemnation by political parties who have levelled allegations of rigging. Prominent leaders were seen at the polling stations with their supporters. The three-term Prime Minister and frontrunner Nawaz Sharif cast his vote in Lahore. And top PTI leaders, many of whom remain in jail, cast their votes through postal ballots. These included the former Prime Minister Imran Khan, the former Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi and the former Punjab Chief Minister Parvez Elahi, who cast their vote from Rawalpindi's jail, where they are currently lodged. Now let's talk a little bit about the candidates themselves. Well, Nawaz Sharif, a political heavyweight, is a favourite to win. He is running for the fourth term. Sharif has had a checkered political career with intermittent spells of jail and exile. Sharif's manifesto promises a message of peace with India and is considered the least hawkish. Now, on the domestic front, Sharif advocates economic liberalization. Compared to Sharif, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is a political novice. He is only 35. He is the current chairman of the Pakistan People's Party, but the scion of the Bhutto Zardari family is a third-generation politician. The PPP can play kingmaker even if it does not secure a majority. It has considerable influence in the Sindh province and could give it an edge in coalition building. Bilawal Bhutto has advocated normalization of ties with India but has often made strong comments against our Prime Minister. Then, of course, there is Imran Khan, who is in jail for multiple corruption cases, but popular support for him continues. Khan remains a star campaigner despite being in jail. His party running his virtual campaigns for him, even though the former Prime Minister's legal tangles continue. He remains a formidable player as well. Now, Pakistan has, of course, seen a series of terror attacks in the run-up to these elections, with at least 30 people losing their lives on the eve of elections itself in blasts in Balochistan province. 5 security personnel were killed in an attack while patrolling the Dera Ismail Khan district in northwestern Pakistan, while 2 security officers were killed and at least 9 wounded in a bomb blast outside a polling station in the town of Lacha in southwestern Pakistan. Now, just on Wednesday, over 20 people were killed and several others injured in a powerful bomb blast outside the election office of an independent candidate in Balochistan province. In the last 72 hours, there have been multiple attacks in Pakistan's restive Balochistan region and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. On Tuesday, 10 grenade attacks were carried out at security posts, election campaign offices and rallies in different areas of the province, totaling 50 such attacks since Sunday alone. Last month, in a massive attack on the March town that claimed by the Baluch Liberation Army, at least 24 militants, 4 security personnel and 2 civilians were also killed. And Anas Malik is now joining us live for the very latest on what's happening with the Pakistan elections. And Anas, well, counting has begun. How much time does it take and when can we expect the results? And also, of course, talk us through the big contenders. Nawaz Sharif remains the favourite, of course.
Well, first question, Hervi, the counting has indeed begun since 5 p.m. right after the Election Commission has an internal mechanism, and they've set a cutoff time for 2 a.m. Pakistan time for the counting to end and the results to come in. In case, if at all, if it's not possible, then in secondary cases, such exemptions will be made, and by 10 a.m. tomorrow, that is the 9th of February, is when the returning officers are bound by the internal system of the Election Commission to submit the results. Now, what you see behind me is the election wall. Where the red indicates that polling has been postponed, the green indicates that result has been announced, the white indicates that results have been withheld. Now, been unofficially or officially announced by the Election Commission of Pakistan, signing inside the Election Commission, where there has been a media city that has been set up, and it has a media wall right behind me, as you can see. Now, to the second part of your questions, I think there are 44 leaders who are contesting. The focus would be on the big four, namely Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, Mia Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, Mia Shehbaz Sharif, and Maryam Nawaz Sharif. As per the initial results that have been coming in, though unofficial, Bilawal seems to be in a comfortable lead from Larkana, from his hometown where he is contesting from, though there is some trouble for him from Lahore, where he is trying to get a hold back or a footprint back of the Pakistan People's Party. When it comes to Mia Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, he's in a comfortable lead against Yasmin Rashid of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. She's running as an independent candidate, but Mia Nawaz Sharif seems to be in some trouble as well from Mansehra, from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, from the Hazara region, where he is also running as well. So all in all, it's a mix of a result right now, as the initial results have been trickling in. What we would be expecting, some sort of a form, some sort of a result, where one would be in a position to predict somewhere around 9 or 9:30 Pakistan time, to be able to tell the position of a future formed government, as in when the election saga ends.
Right, Anas, thanks very much indeed for joining us with the very latest there. So around 2 a.m. local time is when we can expect the results to pour in, and of course early leads suggesting some comfortable wins for Bilawal Bhutto in some areas, but of course in some others like Lahore, setback, and Nawaz Sharif doing well in subsections as well. Well, let's move on to other news now. And the Al-Qaeda Taliban Nexus is back in focus. A new UN report warns that the Al-Qaeda has established 8 new training camps in Taliban-ruled Afghanistan and is increasingly assisting anti-Pakistan terrorists to launch cross-border attacks. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the TTP, has unleashed havoc in Pakistan recently and is just one of the new terror outfits that have been created. Here's more in our next report.
November 4th, 2023, a terror attack on the Pakistan Air Force Alam Air Base in Miawali, Pakistan. 35 men were killed, 14 aircraft destroyed. The terrorists belong to the Tehreek-e-Jihad Pakistan, an affiliate of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP). A little more than a month later, on the 12th of December, they struck again in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. A truck loaded with explosives rammed into a building in a police compound being used as a base camp for the Pakistan Army. At least 23 soldiers were killed. The episode serves as a reminder of the resurgence of the TTP and an unending terror threat it poses to Pakistan. The 33rd report of the UN Analytical Support and Sanctions Monitoring Team provides fresh assessment of the threat of terror groups to the region. The report notes that the Taliban Al-Qaeda relationship at the senior leadership level remains strong, particularly with terror group regional affiliate Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, or AQIS. It points out continued training and ideological guidance provided by the AQIS to TTP ranks. An Al-Qaeda camp in the Afghan border province of Kunar is stated as conducting suicide bomber training for TTP cadre. Taliban, it says, are generally sympathetic to TTP aims, even as they reject Pakistan's blame of propping up the group as it carried on terrorist activity on its soil. TTP members and families are stated as receiving regular aid packages from the Taliban. Taliban commanders are said to have provided TTP with significant quantities of weaponry, including M24 and M16A4 rifles and M4 carbines. Most of this comes from stockpiles left by US-led coalition troops who withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021. The return of the Taliban in 2021 was a shot in the arm for the TTP. There are big parallels in ideology and operations. Since its formation in 2007, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has emerged as one of Pakistan's deadliest terror organizations, having carried out some of the bloodiest attacks in the country's history. So-called jihad against the Pakistan Army is slated as one of its primary goals. For Pakistan, the dangers are huge. The TTP's operational capabilities, alongside a strategic depth for terror provided by the Al-Qaeda and Taliban, has the potential to threaten the very existence of Pakistan as an independent entity. With Al-Qaeda entering the picture, the challenge looms larger and larger.
While a delegation of Sri Lanka's biggest opposition party, the Janta Vimukti Peramuna or the JVP, is in India, much is being made of this Indian outreach to a Sri Lankan opposition party during an election year in Sri Lanka, and also amid the rising Chinese influence in the region. Here's decoding the bigger implications of this.
Not a head of state or a counterpart in office. Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets Anurag Dissanayake, the chief of Sri Lanka's strongest opposition political party, the JVP. The invitation, the delegations travelling to 3 Indian cities over 5 days, and the multiple interactions points at what analysts call India's long-term outlook to relations with its southern border.
In the recent months, the crowds that are gathering at their political meetings have created a very significant development in Colombo. So much so that before the JVP delegation, particularly the leader Anurag Dissanayake, visited New Delhi, he was invited to the United States. The US Embassy in Colombo made arrangements for them and facilitated a visit where they went and spoke with the Sri Lankan diaspora in a number of American capitals.
Look closer at the political scenario in Sri Lanka ahead of crucial presidential elections due between September and October this year. A survey by Colombo-based research body Institute for Health Policy says Dissanayake is the most preferred candidate with as much as 50% of the vote. 33% chose Sajith Premadasa and only 9% chose sitting President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Explaining the rise of the JVP perhaps is the tremendous economic flux in Sri Lanka these last couple of years. The exploding cost of living, soaring inflation and food and fuel shortages gave rise to nationwide protests of the kind not seen before. President Wickremesinghe, though he has pulled in help from the IMF, is not a people's president. Neither is Premadasa or the Rajapaksas. A new favourite emerges strong, and India is looking to build bridges to him.
The government of India invited JVP because it is considered as an alternative force to the mainstream parties in Sri Lanka. That is and also it is clearly indicate the upcoming election will be important.
This visit comes also amid a marked shift in the JVP stance on India. From slamming what it called Indian expansionism over the last 4 decades to turning away from China and in India's favour, Sri Lanka has shown signs of being caught in the Chinese debt trap. And with what's unfolding in the Maldives, India sees this Anayake as the force that will take care of its concerns.
In fact, there was a time not so long ago, if I would say about a year or even thereafter, when the JVP or the NPP was perceived to be more pro-China, but very lately they have been distancing themselves from that axis.
The JVP considered as an alternative force. That's the reason the India considered need to talk with JVP. As China has playing a key role in Sri Lanka. What everyone knows what's happening in the Maldives. The JVP considered as an alternative force.
What it boils down to is concerns over the China factor in the Indian Ocean region. India's choice of elected governments to come is clear enough. Other players will have their cards out too.
And while Bangladesh's Foreign Minister Hassan Mahmood was in New Delhi this week on his first foreign visit after the new Bangladesh government was sworn in following Sheikh Hasina's historic victory last month, WION's principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal caught up with him to discuss the agenda of the visit.
With me is the Bangladeshi Foreign Minister. So welcome to WION. My first question to you is, how do you see India-Bangladesh relationship, if you can talk about that?
We have been enjoying excellent relationship between Bangladesh and India under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi. In fact, under these two leaders, the relationship has gone to new height.
Sir, you have chosen India as your first destination. You will be meeting the Indian External Affairs Minister. What will be the key focus areas?
Look, India is our immediate neighbor. So that's why I have chosen India as my first bilateral visit. And I have come here by the invitation of Honorable Foreign Minister of India. So in the evening, we shall have bilateral talk. All the issues, we have many issues, and we shall discuss all the issues.
How much the focus will be on connectivity? This is something that both sides have been emphasizing on.
Yeah, connectivity is important for prosperity. Connectivity is important for well-being of the people. So this is definitely is our priority. We shall talk about that. We have achieved a lot in terms of the connectivity over the last 10-15 years' time. And we want to go more. So this issue definitely will be discussed.
And well, big news now from the musical world. It was a big night for India at the 2024 Grammys, with as many as 5 Indians walking away with awards this year. Tabla maestro Zakir Hussain alone bagged 3 Grammys. Here are the highlights from the music world's biggest night.
My old man's got a problem. Here at the bottle, that's the way it is.